Hello, back here, Thomas. In this video, I want to talk about very swiftly the main reasons why a lot of the actual marketing agencies, external marketing agencies, struggle to have success with their customers and clients in B2B and especially high-end and high-ticket context. I don't know much about B2C and all the rest of it, and that's a totally different game, but I'm specialized in SaaS, so software as a service, software development services, software products, IT services in general, consultancies, and that sort of thing. And it's in particular high end. So most of our clients, they have like customer lifetime value of upper 5 figures, 6 figures, sometimes even like 7 figures easily when they're, let's say, a specialized company for SAP, Adobe, Salesforce, HubSpot, Co-Media. I've basically, integrations, development, whatever you name it. I've been basically in touch in the recent 10 to 15, 20 years with almost all these software providers, and despite the fact there's always change and cloud and transformation and chips are changing and infrastructure is changing, everything's changing, but the core of selling these like high-end enterprise solutions hasn't really much changed, and with that regards, I would say like a fairly high proportion of social media agencies, marketing agencies, and even telesales agencies, they struggle a lot to be successful with these particular high-end solutions, making leads and so forth. And one of the reasons for that is, in my special experiences, they have the lack of connecting basically the marketing side of things with the sales side of things. And I've seen this many times, even in bigger companies where there's like one marketing department and they do certain things. And then there's a sales department, there's like a key account management department, there's like all sorts of departments. And while the sales departments and the different sales teams, SDR teams with the key accountants and so on, they very often, very closely, they don't talk so many times with the marketing department. And that's sometimes changing. We're talking to a lot of companies where that's the case. But even if you're a smaller company, you don't even have your own departments yet, one very important thing is to understand, when it comes down to marketing, it always comes down to what is the actual turnover that this marketing is actually generating. So basically, how many deals did you close? And I must really say that I'm very different to all the other agencies and scaling experts and consultancies out there, but I do not like the word closing at all. We all know what it means in English language. It means basically winning a client, getting some project going, and at least starting to generate some revenue. But closing, and I'm from Germany, it's like, if I translate it into German language, and it's sometimes there's like the cultural aspect is missing, but closing basically means, to close down something. It's like the end of something, But in reality, to do a sale is actually when the journey with your customer actually is starting and beginning. So I don't like this term at all. It doesn't really say much about also the skill set. So there's a lot of so-called closers out there, especially trained closers, and they might do a good job selling insurances, financial products, or whatever in these agencies. And now they try to replace them with some sort of AI, but this AI is going to do only as good a job as the agencies before, because that's how the AI is learning. So the AI is going to do the same mistakes as the agents, the human did before, so there's not going to be anything better. So basically, you will struggle a lot being successful with a marketing agency, trying to make some leads that actually then convert into revenue when you're using so-called closer or closer agencies, or even if you hire closers or whatever you're going to be doing. Because the typical closer, and this is very important to understand, has a mindset, okay? So basically, the typical closer is like trained, sometimes very well trained, and the better he's trained, the worse it is sometimes, to be, you know, equipped with all sorts of sales training to get that deal done. But what you really want, especially in enterprise, is not like, okay, you sell an insurance, like, you know, in B2C or like low level like B2B, it's like, okay, you sell an insurance and then that's it. You never talk to your client ever again. Maybe you have like some cross or upsell, but it's not that important. In B2B high-end IT sales, it's like very, 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 very different. You know, it is like, okay, you do the deal and now you need to have like all sorts of like services that are then following up, and the actual money is then done by having this client and doing lots of projects in the future, support contracts, all sorts of like license agreements, all sorts of things. So the focus when actually doing a deal is pretty much into the future, what's coming next, rather than, okay, let's do this deal right now and then what's after that is not so important anymore. I hope I could like bring across and what's really important. And a lot of the people right now, I'm like driving to like some of the German industry, some business owners, and whenever I talk to them in person, I can guarantee you I'm never really into presence. Like, I know all the tricks, like, you know, how to sell a product and psychology and all that kind of thing, you know. I've had it all. Like, I've done like 1,000 hours of coaching sessions with people like, you know, with training programs like Dirk Kräuter, whatever, you know, sales trainers, the most famous that Germany has to offer. But with this particular, like, selling IT is basically very important to understand that when I'm actually on client side, I'm shaking hands with a CEO, you know, who has responsibility of like, let's say like 5 different places he's running with 500, 1,000 employees, 2,000, 5,000 employees, production lines with thin margins and all sorts of like responsibilities, you know, like. And what I'm really wanna get into is like, you know, how can I improve your business, make it more competitive, make it more energy efficient within the next 1, 2, 3 years? How can that support you so that you are still in the business and continue gaining market share, you know, within the next couple of years? Okay, and this is the talks, the content of the conversations that I have with these CEOs. Okay, and this is why they invite me to have a cappuccino with them, and this is the reason why that they listen to what I'm actually saying, you know, not because I'm there to make deals and I'm just there to make sales, you know. I know that is very important, but because that is very important, I'm not having the deal itself as the focus. I'm having the supporting, doing value creation. This is what I have in the focus. And I don't take any clients on where I know, okay, they have products or services that do not really help anybody, you know, because that will be not working in the long term. And in the high-end enterprise segment, you do only have long-term relationships. There is no such things as lots of little quick wins and with little contracts and all sorts of things, you know. That does not work because the markets are way too small for all of that. You know, there's like, maybe let's say you're selling to like, you know, machine builders or whatever, German machine builders. There's like, I don't know, 5,000 machine builders, and if you've been through 10 or 20% of them and you don't do a really good job, you know, then all the rest of the machine builders, they're gonna be they know about you, because these people, they all talk to each other, you know. All right, so I hope I could like bring across what's the really big difference here, because there is really a really big difference between like the normal like B2B, like small cap little product selling things and you know, like these closers that are
probably do a really good job when they're selling their financial products and insurances and all sorts of things, which is a totally different world, you know. And I would never ever hire anybody or any agency who's got like these sort of like closes. You know, it does not work. It's very short term, and there's, you know, continuously people like applying for jobs, trying to work with me or for me, who have been previously like having jobs with like closer jobs. And I would sometimes give them an interview, but usually I don't hire them because they have the wrong mindset, and I would need to retrain them and rewire them, and that's just so much of an effort that I'm usually not willing to take and risk as well. That they don't really do like a value focused service in terms of like selling really value focused products and services to the clients. Okay, see you later.